Thank you. This is your host, Terrence Moynihan, alongside with my partner,
Colby Magliozzi, and welcome to the Daily Dinger on this fine autumn evening. Again, welcome to the podcast on this day, October 10th. Terrence, we have a lot to talk about today.
Yes, sir! Woo!
The Cincinnati Reds defeated the Chicago White Sox 10-5 in Game 8 of the World Series, crowning them the World Series champions.
That's bee's knees, dog.
Eller for the Cincinnati Reds, the winning pitcher, going 9 innings, allowing 10 hits and 4 earned runs for the Cincinnati Reds.
Damn.
For the Chicago White Sox, Williams takes the L.
That's a tough hit.
Williams, the losing pitcher for the White Sox, only going 1/3 of an inning, allowing 4 hits and 4 earned runs.
Yikes.
He was later replaced by James, who went 4 2/3, allowing 8 hits and 3 earned runs.
Damn, that's not good. You can't win a game with 8 hits.
After James's poor effort, Wilkinson came in, throwing a total of 4 innings, allowing 4 hits and 2 earned runs. T-Dog, what do you think about Wilkinson's last-minute efforts?
I think Wilkinson did a pretty good job, but obviously it wasn't enough to get it done. He had solid control over the innings, but just wasn't there tonight.
Yeah, the Cincinnati Reds were firing on all cylinders, and it was too much for the White Sox to overcome.
Facts.
Me and T-Dog's personal MVP for the game was Ed J. Rouse, the center fielder for the Cincinnati Reds.
What a chic.
He went 3 for 5 with 4 RBIs. That's a stand-up
Straight out
performance.
stud.
What do you think, T-Dog?
That is a performance if you ask me.
Performance for the
3 for
ages for
5?
Ed J. Rouse.
Nasty.
On the other hand, for the White Sox, star left fielder Shoeless Joe Jackson went 2 for 5 with 3 RBIs. Another stand-up performance, but in the end, it wasn't enough for the White Sox to overcome the Cincinnati Reds. What do you think about Shoeless Joe Jackson's performance, T-Dog?
Personally, I know Joe pretty well. I think he's one of the best players to play the game, and he's definitely going to go down in history as one of the greatest to play the game, but personally, I feel like he could have done better tonight and definitely helped the team win the game.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that statement. Shoeless Joe should have had a better performance. We now go to the phones. We have a special guest star, Shoeless Joe Jackson, calling into our show. Good evening, Mr. Jackson. How are you this fine evening?
Yeah, I'm good, guys. How are you?
Doing pretty good today.
Fantastic!
Anyways, how do you think the White Sox played?
Well, it was a great team effort, but sadly it wasn't enough to bring the title back to Chicago.
Do you think you could have done anything to make the effort any better?
Well, I went 2 for 5 with 3 RBIs, so who knows what I could have done with those other 3 at-bats to help the team win.
I respect that. So, we've heard some rumors going around that the White Sox were actually in a little bit of a scandal during this World Series. What do you have to say about that?
I don't know what you're talking about. I haven't heard of the scandal.
It's about your team and you gambling money to throw the World Series. Do you know anything about it?
I personally haven't taken any bribes, and I can't talk to my teammates, but I hope they wouldn't take any bribes either. I don't know why you would want to lose a World Series like that.
All right. That's enough proof from me. I'm going to hand you back to Colby now.
All right, thank you, Mr. Jackson. It's always a pleasure to talk to you.
Okay, thanks for having me. Sadly, I have to go and catch the bus. Have a good day.
Man, T-Dog, that sure would be a shame if those rumors were true, huh? Shame!
Imagine throwing your whole season just for some stupid money.
Yeah, especially with a great career Shoeless Joe Jackson has had. I'm sure his Hall of Fame considerations would be thrown right in the trash.
Straight up barrel.
Holy crap, T-Dog, get a load of this.
No way! I just got lied to by the Shoeless Joe Jackson himself.
Shoeless Joe Jackson and a numerous amount of teammates were accused of throwing the World Series and taking bribes from the Mafia.
I quit. I'm done. Pack my bags. Get me a taxi. Get me out of this stupid city.
All 8 men from the Chicago White Sox were permanently banned from professional baseball. Along with being banned from professional baseball, all 8 players were banned from post-career honors such as consideration for the Baseball Hall of Fame. Wow, isn't that something, T-Dog?
Yeah, the Hall of Fame. That's crazy. Now a word from our sponsors.
We'll be back in 30 seconds.
Go buy yourself some Lucky Strike cigarettes, the official cigarettes of the MLB. They're toasted with no throat irritation and no cough. Go pick yourself up a pack today.
Thank you, Lucky Strike, and we are back with the podcast. That's enough for the baseball today. Let's move on to another sport. Now I'm going to talk about the most significant results in world of sports for the year of 1919. In January, the Tennis Australia Open was won by ARF Kingscote. In June, the Golf US Open was won by Walter Hagen. In July, the Cycling Tour de France was won by Furman Lambot. In July, tennis, Wimbledon, won by Gerald Patterson and Susan Lenglen. In August, the Golf USPGA was won by Jim Barnes. In September, the Tennis U.S. National Championship was won by Bill Johnston and Hazel Whiteman. And finally, in October, the Baseball World Series was won by the Cincinnati Reds, as we already talked about previously.
Another serious topic is while on speaking tour promoting the League of Nations, President Woodrow Wilson suffered a stroke.
Let's honor the president by taking a few seconds of silence.
His conditions at this time are unknown, but we will get back to you once we know more. And now I'll send it over to our reporter, Dom Amore.
Thank you, Colby. Now I'm here with Basil Hayden to talk to us about a new sport called basketball. So Basil, what is this basketball?
Well, I'll tell you, it's my new favorite sport. So you've got the ball, round ball. You've got to put it into the. We use these peach baskets, and you try and throw it in there, and then it gets stuck. So you got to knock it out, and then the other team tries and score, but you got to stop each other from scoring. So if, let's say you go up to shoot, I might give you a little elbow and make sure you don't score. It's a physical sport. There's 5-on-5. We have 10 players. Usually 7 or 8 finish the game. So it's a lot of fun. You got to be able to shoot, defend yourself, maybe push people around when they need to be pushed around.
All right, thank you. Any final words?
You should play basketball. It's fun.
All right, thank you, Basil Hayden. Now back to Colby in the studio.
And now we're going to talk about a sport that's starting to make noise in the United States, a sport called basketball. On the topic of new sports, there's a new sport up and coming in the United States. It's called football. There's been some rumors going around the United States that the National Football League, also known as the NFL, is going to be founded sooner or later. It's just a matter of time before the NFL is founded in the United States. And now I'll send it over to Terrence with 2 professional football players.
I'm here with Rose Bowl winners, Patty Driscoll and Jenny Konzelman. Tell me a little bit about yourselves.
Thank you, Terrence. Well, I am Jimmy Konzelman. Me and my friend here, Patty Driscoll, are on the Great Lakes Navy Blue Jackets football team. Personally, I play the position of halfback, which means I run the football. Well, my friend here, Patty, he's a quarterback, which means he gives me the ball and he'll pass the ball.
So what is football exactly?
Well, football is a sport where the quarterback will hand the ball off to the running back, or he will throw it, and you have to try to get in the end zone to score points.
During this time, the opposing team will play defense, which they try to stop the person from running the ball up or stop the person trying to catch the ball from actually receiving that catch.
Now, what do you guys think about the National Football League?
Great question, Terrence. Really great question. Well, right now there is no National Football League, but I do have hopes that one will be founded sometime during 1920 or past then. But hopefully it will be established and will become more mainstream. Because I know there are talks about starting one as of now.
All right, thank you guys for coming. Hope to see you again soon.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, thanks for tuning in with the Daily Dinger podcast.
Yes, sir.
I'm Colby Bagliozzi alongside
T-Dog.
And thank you for joining in.
Thank you.
Tune in next time.